How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We got another Dokkan Battle video for you here today. We are kicking off the Grand Tour of the EZA AGL Ginyu up against the Redzone Jiren from the Goku story. Gonna be honest, this is kind of tough, especially with the final phase canceling dodge and the Jason Birder being a dodge unit, as well as just, timing the transformation condition for AGL Ginyu, because obviously we do want to make sure we are hitting that at a reasonable time frame. Like, I would say at least maybe a turn or two into the end phase, probably even like right as we enter the end phase. Otherwise, we're going to get to a point where it's going to get too hard to transform, I think, but we'll see. So we do have him turn one here with Tao and Jason Birder. Jason Birder are supporting him for 40%, and actually 70%, because Ginyu is on the rotation, right? So they get that extra 30 that they can give to the next rotation. So we'll keep them on here. We do need to make sure that they get fully built up before the end of this, because they're gonna have to be able to tank the normals at the very least at the end. They're not gonna live a super, but if we can get them to tank the normals, they'll be in a pretty good position. So we'll see how that goes here. Like, I think on the turn that they are on with Ginyu, they'll probably be fine. I worry about the off turn where they're going to be with Tao and General Blue. But we'll see. So, I mean, that last rotation nearly took out Bergamo. So I'm thinking we stick. Yeah, let's do that. Perfect. Yeah, let's grab that. Perfect. Just to let Raccoon and Goldo get their build up. I mean, eventually we will ship them over to the rotation with Ginyu, and we'll keep them together. Raccoon and Goldo do make a great slot 1 unit, so I will probably prioritize that with them. But we'll see. Alright, so Bergamo down, and that brings us into the Kale Phase. Now, I've been having a few. I think we're good here since we had Ginyu on turn 1, and we do still have Jason Birder, but I've had a lot of few runs where Ginyu gets sniped by Kale's super in slot 1 because just getting bad luck with stacking. But we actually stacked all right, and we have Jason Birder here for support. So honestly, I think we're okay. Plus, well, actually, we got Jason Birder 70% support, and then we got blue support as well. So actually, I mean, we're overloaded with support this turn. Oh yeah, all right, we're good. Yeah, he's gonna be fine. Yeah, 1.2, right? Yeah, 1.2 million. Okay, that's good. And there goes the super. So this turn we actually should tank it. Very nice. Okay. Alright, so 27 mil we got. I mean, honestly, that's pretty good combined with the Jason Birder. Right, because we do pretty much have the most amount of links we're going to get. 29 mil, okay. That's about the most amount of links we're going to get with this guy, combined with their support. I think, I mean, we even have Glorio support, I think, here, right? So, actually, he's doing really good. Go get a couple more supers out of Jason Birder here, get that build. Excellent. Alright, is blue gonna wrap up here? I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter if he does or doesn't. There we go. Alright, so blue takes him down, and that drives us to the Kefla. I think, yeah, so I think we just go Tau slot 1, slot 2, and then rotate off Raccoon and Goldo at this point. Alright, or maybe, yeah, we're fine. Really, yeah, not having blue here to change the orbs is actually, this is gonna mess us up, especially if blue ends up getting locked off at any point. Especially for the int phases, right? Because we're going to need to get through those quickly, and if that just, I don't know. This worries me. We probably should have brought, like, Path to Power Goku instead of Glorio or something, just for the extra orb chaining. I feel like we screwed Tao over just to run Ginyu effectively. There we go. Alright, Tao's going to eat this up. There we go. Of course he does. Beautiful. Alright, there we go. And Raccoon and Goldo get shifted up, so not a whole lot of damage on this rotation, which is great, because that will allow us to throw Ginyu in and get some build-up out of him. And one of the things that was happening in some of these other showcases is our rotations would get too perfect to start, and then we would like just fly through these phases and not get enough stacks. So I think, let's see here. I'm thinking we put Jace and Birder in slot 1, because they'll dodge, and they should be able to live the normals at this point, even just the one pre-super. And then that way they can both get their build-up, and Ginyu can get his build-up. Because Ginyu, I think at this point, well, actually, no, that might still be kind of risky throwing Ginyu in there. Yeah, I do think Jace and Birder is probably the best play, because at least if she supers, we have a 90% chance to dodge. There we go. Yeah, we do tank the normals like I thought. Okay, so I guess we're not going to get any more build out of them. So 23 million on the Ginyu here. There we go. Alright, so 24 million on the Ginyu. Alright, so I'm thinking at this point we could probably get away with transforming. We could probably get away with transforming Ginyu, right? With these two stacks, we'll be at a point where the 150% defense on attack, on receiving an attack, will be more than enough to tank even AGL Jiren's super. So especially post super. I think it's really going to depend on how this next rotation, or how the rotations coming into the int phase play out. There we go, we dodged the super. That could have been bad. Alright, finally we got Blue and Tao together. So, let's see here. Honestly, I know Tao can survive without the rainbow orbs. So I'm wondering if we just chuck him and see if we can squeeze out one more stack out of Ginyu. I think we could get away with it. Well, actually, no, maybe not. Looking at how the orbs fall here. Let's see, let's grab that. Let's grab that. Oh, yeah, there's no, yeah, okay, we should have grabbed, yeah. Okay, so the third slot Tao is going to kill, so never mind on that plan. Alrighty, excellent. Okay, so blue... Actually, blue's fully buffed up here. He's got his full passive because Kefla is a peppy gal, so... Nice. Alright, we do get the dodges. Yeah, so... Gonna be worried a little bit about him failing some dodges on us. We had that happen in one of the runs on the showcase where he just straight up failed the dodge and we lost. So hopefully that doesn't happen here and we can maintain. Alrighty. Let's see here. Who's locked? Ginyu's locked, isn't he? Of course he is. Of course he is. Alright, but, I mean, it's still an overall safe rotation that we probably don't need to use an item here. The only reason I would really use an item is if blue gets locked in slot 1. If he, well, like, but again, he would have to get locked in slot 3. Oop, don't mean that. He would have to get locked in slot 3. And then locked in slot 1 following. So if that happens, then we might be in some trouble. But otherwise, we'll just keep trying to go through. So these guys are just gonna eat this up. Double digits, you love to see it. Yeah, it's probably better than trying to risk it with Jason Burger, honestly. There we go, 21 million out of the Jason Birder. $24 on the AGL Ginyu. Honestly, I mean, this is pretty depressing. He really should have stacked both attack and defense in his base form, and you're really going to see why he should have once we do finally transform. If we can even get it. I mean, at this point, he's going to tank everything, even in base. So, yeah, there we go. Of course, we get the seal, or the lock on... Of course, we get the lock on Glorio. Ah, jeez. Do we risk it? I really don't want to use an item. Again, the only reason I want to use an item is if blue ends up locked. So, I wonder if we should just do this. Yeah. Okay. So at least we run the chance here of at least getting rid of the super. So, let's grab that. There we go. So, we'll leave blue on. One less, right? Because by leaving him on, we have one less risk of getting him locked in slot 1, and we dodge the super. Excellent. Whew, that was scary. Oh, no, we don't dodge the normal. Okay, but that works. As long as we can live the next rotation, we can transform Ginyu next time he shows up. Assuming we can get that far. All right, we still have to. Well, actually, the next rotation will be fine. Actually. There we go. Right, and I think post-super blue should tank here. Or, yeah, he should. Well, doesn't matter. We get the dodge. Okay. Cal getting that attack lower in. Alright, shame we only got 3 key spheres there, but we'll take it. Additional... Ah, that's a normal. Yeah, we needed an additional super there. Okay. Alrighty. There goes the AoE. We get the dodge on Glorio, and we get the dodge on Blue. Alrighty, who's locked? Okay, Raccoon and Goldo are locked. Okay, this works. Okay, because we can put Tau in slot 1. Can we get more than 3? No, 3 is it? Okay, that's fine. So we'll put Tau in slot 1. We'll put these guys in slot 2. And then we send off Jason Birder here. That way they can be on rotation with Ginyu transformed, as well as buffing him. Oof. Okay, 100k there. And of course he gets sealed. Alright, Jason Birder get... Okay, alright, well, I was worried that they would not dodge, but doesn't matter, they took double digits. Alright, there we go. Extra attack lowering out of Raccoon and Goldo. There we go. Finally. Alright, we are 10 turns deep into this, and we can finally transform Ginyu. And he locked blue, actually. We got real lucky here. Okay, so... Oh, yeah, that's plenty of defense. Alright, so let's go ahead and transform him. We'll get a nice little heal, and now we're going to start launching those additional super attacks and get some attack stacking in. At this point, we'll take everything, including AGL Super, so it's just a matter of getting that attack in. So we do get the 50% chance to dodge. Very nice. Excellent. And 12 million. What? Like, okay, I get that this isn't the greatest rotation, but come on. That's just sad. That's real sad. Okay, well, Glorio's going to do his thing, get a little bit more attack lowering. At least at this point, we've attack lowered him into oblivion. That I'm pretty sure it's a non-issue here for anyone, really. We just got to survive. Wow, that was something. That was something. Okay, let's see here. Alright, 8 mil on it, right? Like, the fact that General Blue is almost doing as much as that with Ginyu is just... That's not good. That is really not good. But see, that's why I said earlier, like, he should have stacked attack in base also. Even if it's just a 20% stack, right? Like, that would be significantly better than not doing it at all. Because... like, his attack stat coming out is just too low. Let's see here. Alright, so we'll grab 3 here with this Tau. You know what? I'm going to pop the active just so we can actually get some orbs here with this Tau. Maybe we can actually... Nah, very nice. We'll take that crit. 4. Perfect. That's what we want. Are we getting enough to get the... Not enough to get the Dokkan attack, dang. That would have been nice, but... Okay. We're close. Alright, and there goes the super. Yeah, so we are going to eat this, but we will tank it. But we do need... 30. Okay, that's not bad. Hopefully the friend Tau in slot 2 can proc like an additional super or something. 55 mil. Obviously, it'd be a lot better if we had some better link partners here. No crit either, and no additional super. Oh man, this is gonna be slow. But I mean, at this point, the only way we could die is if General Blue misses a dodge, right? Pre-super. If it's post-super, he's fine. Alrighty, so. And Glorio is locked in slot 3. That actually kind of works. Okay, so the super is in slot 1. We could put Jason Birder. They would have 90% chance to dodge. Or we just keep Ginyu in slot 2. The thing is, if we put Ginyu in slot 2, we run the risk of us not killing and then him getting locked in slot 3 next turn. We don't want that. But also knowing my luck, if I put Jason Birder in slot 1, we would absolutely miss the 10%. So, you know what? Let's just put Ginyu here, get the attack stacks up. And also, he'll get the Dokkan attack, too. Never mind, he did not dodge. Should have seen that coming. Maybe we should have went with the Jason Birder. Maybe we should have went with the Jason Birder.
Time to get serious.
Alrighty, well, Jason Birder are getting the Dokkan attack. That's silly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Gonna go all out.
Okay, these guys aren't going to do a whole lot, but it is what it is. Alright, we get an additional super here. That was anticlimactic, but okay. I mean, we should have anticipated that. These guys don't do a whole lot of damage, so... Dang it, Glorio. You could have changed this. You could have hurried this along for us, but alright. Okay, let's just hope the locking doesn't screw anything up on the next rotation, since we have both Tau and Blue back together. And that's exactly what I didn't want to happen. Blue got locked in slot 1. And remember, his dodge only exists in slot 2. So we're gonna use the Sensu Bean only, right? We're at full HP, so it doesn't matter. We're gonna use the Sensu Bean only just to shift his position, because, yeah, locking is stupid, and we are 22 minutes into this already. And there goes, Tau getting sealed. We are just not gonna kill him, are we? Alright, additional normal. Okay, here comes the AoE. Can we dodge? Yes. Alrighty. Okay, at least the friend Tau should wrap this up for us. Alright, so we are in the AGL phase, and I love that we have the Ginyu Force Rotation because we can see the super attack. So we're going to put AGL Ginyu in front here. Alright, there we go. Yeah. We have to fight, we have to float Jason Birder, and this is risky because they'll have a rotation where they won't have Ginyu on with him, which could be dangerous. But at the same time, the longer they're on rotation, the higher the chances are that they take the super, which obviously we... Well, actually, that's incorrect, right? We could keep them on... We could keep them on. The problem would be, though, is if the super is in slot 2, right? If the super is in slot 2, we would be forced to put them in slot 1 or slot 3, which means floating them off, and we'd end up back to square 1, because we certainly couldn't put them in slot 1. They won't be able to tank pre-super. So Yeah, it is the best call to just float him. All right, so Ginyu does double digit tank that. That was pretty nice. Attack stat is still way too low for me. Like at this point in the fight, he should not be hitting low 20s. I'm sorry, that's a no go. We're at the Jiren phase, and he's hitting low 20s. Legitimately, like, he should have come out swinging at, like, at least 30 mil with how much you have to jump through to get him. The extra 40% from the Ginyu Force members cannot be making that big of a difference. And right, this is a fully juiced turn, too, right? This is a fully juiced turn. The only thing we're missing is Glorio's support. Alright, let's grab that with Tao. We're not going to use his stuff just yet, so... Now, that does pose a problem with this rotation, right? Because we don't know if where the super attack is. If it's not on Tao, that does worry me, because that means it's possible it could be on Blue or Glorio. But also, he tends not to super 2 turns in a row, unless you're really unlucky, so... It's possible he doesn't super at all here. We get an additional super with Blue. Blue should, as long as Blue is next to Tao, he will tank the normals. It's in those situations where he's not next to Tao. Yep, there we go, double digits. Alright, so Glorio, I kind of need you to pop up on those turns. That's not it. There we go. Additional super on Glorio. Alright, excellent. Now, can we tank the normals here? Yes. Okay, perfect. No super? Yes. Okay. Alright, and the super is in slot 3. Okay, this kind of works, because now we can put we can put Rakumen Goldo in slot 1. We can toss Ginyu in slot 2. And can we get 3 orbs with Tao? Okay. He should be able to tank the super with that. There we go. Excellent. Get some additional supers and the increased defense. But of course, these guys could even tank. Like, if we really wanted, we could have put Tao slot 1, these guys in slot 3, and they would have ate that super up. But, you know, we do want to keep the Ginyu Force together. Alright. Seriously. You cannot be serious. Why is his... he has to be... There has to be a bug. There's no way he's hitting that low. This has to be a bug. Like, I feel like we're not even feeling the effects of the greatly stacking. Something's not right here. Right, because they've got 50% support from Glorio. He's got his best links active outside of Gentleman, which, I mean, he's not going to really be able to do without an additional Ginyu, which we just don't have at the moment. So, like, what's going on? He should not be hitting that low. There we go. Alright, super on Tao. $300K. Alright. So, I'm thinking it's probably pretty safe for us to use the active skill here now. Alrighty. 4 it is. Never gonna get that mythical 5, but alright, we'll take it. Okay, so once again, we have a problem of not knowing where the super is. If anyone other than Tao eats it, obviously we know we're gonna die. 65 million here, though, is still bad. Alright, double digits on the blue. Love it. Okay, and super... No. No. Yes! Okay, we live. Alright, now. We just gotta hope it's not on Jason Birder, that this is another turn where he's skipping the turn since he's supered last turn. He tends to do that, but I also tend to get unlucky and I get the roll. And it is the normal. Yes. Okay, we make it through. Perfect. And that super is slot 1 this time. Okay. Well, in that case, just to be on the safe side, I'm pretty sure Raccoon and Goldo can tank it, but kind of want to see this. Perfect. Double digits. Okay, we'll take that. Okay, we cannot be getting normals right now, though. 27 mil. It is turn 18? Turn 18? We're 30 minutes into this. We should not be hitting... We should not barely be scratching 30 million. No, I'm sorry. There is something bugged about the way this guy builds up. There has to be. The additional 40% loss from not having full Ginyu Force, which is impossible to run at the moment. There's no way. Alrighty. Let's go 10 million on the Glorio. Right? Like, I wonder if they meant to give him something like Glorio's effect here, right? Where, like, it gets that jump, like, where it goes, like, he's still stacking, but it's going from, like, 10 to 17 to 24, right? Or Hit has the same effect. Actually, Kefla has the same effect, too. So it's like, what is going on? Why is his so low? It can't... Ooh, nice. 4 with the Tau here. I mean, the answer can't simply be, oh, well, he doesn't have that multiplicative effect that the other two do. That doesn't make sense why his attack stacks are so low. Ooh, look at that. 70 million. Okay, Tau gonna wrap this up for us? Is he? Come on, give us an additional super. Ooh, 81 million. Look at him. Like... He did double the damage that Ginyu did, and like for free, no build up. Well, okay, it's not entirely for free. We do need rainbow orbs, but still, you get my point. Okay, kind of worried where this super is going to be. Hopefully, it isn't on blue. There we go, double digits. Oh man, if that was a crit. Alright, well, I mean, good news. Ginyu's gonna get the final blow here, I'm assuming. We got a full Ginyu Force rotation here. This is nice. Ooh, super in the middle. Okay, so let's put... Yeah, let's do that. Let's grab that. There we go. Alright, now... Raccoon Goldo shouldn't do that much damage here. $13 mil, not a lot. Like, yeah, AGL Ginyu, these guys should not be coming close to Ginyu. And the fact that they are, basically, right when he transforms, that's just, that's no good. That's no. Just no. Alright, moment of truth. 34. So it took us 4 turns of stacking to get above 30 million here. And that's with support from Jason Birder, mind you. And we don't have Glorio support this turn. 35 mil. That's the best we did. 35 million. Alrighty, so there you have it. There is AGL Ginyu, babied his way to the final phase of the Red Zone Jiren in the Goku story. Again, I mean, I want to like this guy. I did never get to enjoy him in his heyday, and the fact that he's just... his stats seem to be coming out solo. Defensively and base, honestly, he's fine. Right? Like, even without stacking attack, like, defensively and base, he's stacking just fine in base. And his stacks are lower. He's a 20% stack in base. But then when you transform, right? So let's take a look here. Right? Then when we transform into Goku Ginyu, right? Like, you can see here, it's just a basic raise with him. I just don't understand it. And we have a full defensive setup too, right? Maybe that's why. Maybe that's what it is. We gave him full defensive equips. Maybe we need to shift him to offense equips. But then we lose out on that, right? He's greatly stacking attack. He should be stacking faster. I'm not sure what's going on here. We'll have to look more into this. So, guys, that's it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, what are your thoughts on Ginyu so far? Again, he does seem good, but there's something missing. Something's not right. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.